Hello everyone, this is StrawberryShorty back with the letter, where we are seemingly nearing the end of the game. We are currently playing as Luke, who is together with all the other playable characters. I think no one is dead. Hana's a little... not sure about Hana. Hana might be savable, we'll see. But, well, we're trying to figure out if we can stop the curse, so let's just jump in there. So, right now Zach's telling us the thing.
You mean what Andrew told you? Those were just stories, Zach. It might not even help.
Regardless, Steele pauses while he allows Lily to remember. Soon enough, whatever it is dawns on her, and her face lights up with something like hope. Of all things, in this nightmare, hope? Her head snaps up and she reaches for Steele's arm to give it a squeeze. A reassurance or confirmation. The meaning is lost even to Daisy, who glances at them baffled.
Belle, what are you...
Becca, it's this place.
What? You mean, like, burn this place down?
I still think we should get rid of this letter before we start thinking of destroying a place with some historical value.
Priorities.
What? And no?
Like, he's more justified in being angry because he's put a lot of money into this, and also all of his stuff is here, I think.
We are not burning a multi-million-pound mansion, you peasants! I just spent a fortune on this! Bloody fucking hell! Not only do I have trespassers on my property, but they're also arsonists!
It's not only that. Think about it.
Then they proceed to tell me some ridiculous narrative about the supernatural. Stories about ghosts, legends, curses born out of a great anger and pain, and whatever else people use to scare children. Not that I believe any of it, as if no one will help. Bunch of loons, these people, officially off their rockers. I think I'll be stuck in this nightmare with people like them. I mean, look around you, man. What do you call this? What did I ever do to the world? Of course, it's all absurd until...
I think it's just like what the professor guy said. Just like that old story.
Meaning?
This mansion and some other thing might be keeping her here.
I don't know about it being the man.
You know, something he wanted in life, but never got to have. Something like that.
Sounds like it wanted the Lord.
Or maybe it's not something, Zachary.
Someone. The who doesn't have to be uttered out loud. There's only one person in this room who that woman calls after. Every single one of them has heard it. Bloody hell, it's in the reluctant shift in Daisy's eyes when they flicker over to me, though only briefly. She's also holding information on her own, or perhaps a realization she just had. Doesn't matter. I know when people have slowly started to turn on me. How do they think I lasted in this cutthroat world? Betray them before they do the same thing to you. Put a knife in their back before they can act. Kill or be killed. Survival in a nutshell. What now? Are they going to throw me to that creature? See what happens to save themselves? I am no fool.
No. You're all in on this, aren't you? Of course! Of fucking course!
Luke, that isn't what I...
Are you all going to stoop that low?
It's nothing like that, Ash. All we're saying is that maybe he might be able to do something about this.
Drop it, you guys. We're not leaving anyone here.
Just like that, their bickering begins anew. Bloody peasants. My head's already aching just listening to them. I think this is all the solution they can come up with. Should have just stabbed all of them and made a run for it. It doesn't help that with each second we spend talking here, the crazier this whole place gets. The voices have become louder and somehow sound more vicious. If the things in this room start floating, mark my words, I will fucking flip out. Look at our knife. It's gigantic. Furious, paranoid, and trapped in the mansion with people he barely knew, Luke Wright threatened to take them down with him. Luckily, before the hysterical man could harm anyone, Becca slapped him. And they may not be thinking of it right now, but eventually they'll turn on me. Such is the nature of humans. Better find a way out of this place as soon as possible if I want to stay alive. Fuck, I still have so much to do. None of our choices seem sound, but who knows? We don't know just a shite about this place. Might as well try everything, yeah? Whatever works. But I also have to be the one to make the bloody decision, so be it. Less room for errors, with the only sane one doing the thinking. On the off chance I'm wrong, well, they suggested it. Burn the mansion. As I mean, if it was as easy as burning the letter, I'm going to regret this, I will. With these cries growing louder, this has become the easiest decision I have ever made. I'm getting tired of hearing her sobbing, really. It's just irritating. Isn't she getting tired of it? Besides, someone has to act fast, think fast. And what else is the root cause of our problems with this place where the letter was found? No need to make things more complicated. It started here, why won't it end here? If what Olivia said is true, then there's all the more reason to destroy it. Put an end to this madness before someone thinks of putting this blasted place up on the market. When I get out of this place, I swear I'm suing a bunch of people, running that estate company to the ground if need be. We spent millions, damn it! Millions! With a sigh and perhaps a heavy heart, I opened one of the drawers in my study table, taking a bottle of liquor out for myself and passing it on to every occupant in the room. They accepted, but not without a look of protest or a confused glance my way. It does shut them all up, so maybe I've done something good. Even more when I pop the cork off the bottle and pour its contents on the floor.
Well, what are you simpletons waiting for?
We waste no time dousing the whole room, the smell of alcohol filling the air. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they're more eager to set the whole place on fire. The blaze catches easily in this room when I set it alight, using the blasted paper as kindling. With this whole place drenched in wine and all manner of things alcoholic I've been hiding from Hannah, the small fire soon turns into an inferno. In a matter of seconds, we're out the door. It doesn't exactly leave where I'm hoping it will. Although ending up in the kitchen does give us more reason to play with like a bunch of pyromaniacs, fishing the liquor stocks from the cupboards. We also do the same thing we've done to this study. Where's Hannah? Door after door in every room we pass, pouring bottle after bottle of expensive aged liquor and setting everything on fire, only leaving once the blaze has started in earnest. When we run out of liquor, we simply drop the bottle and take one of the many nooks I've stashed one. And there's no lack of it in here. The hard stuff, the shorts, the watered-down kind, gifts from a distant relative, so-called friends, you name it. I've made sure there's always one within reach.
How many of these things do you keep in this house?
I always have a few bottles in the bedroom, you know, the parlor and the dining room.
You have problems, man.
Well, isn't this the time to discuss them?
Hannah had called me out on this numerous times before, telling me of the same thing. I've always told her she doesn't know the half of it before completely dismissing her concerns. Worrywart, that woman. Turns out it'll be useful now, not to drown out my sorrows, but for this. Wonder of wonders, though I suppose I can say it has also saved my life. But there's no time for some introspection now, because with each room we pass and burn, this place also becomes easier to navigate, as if it's slowly righting itself, returning to what it was supposed to be. Soon we finally find ourselves standing before the main door. Give me back my wife. The strong odor of burning wood, cloth, and varnish alike wafts from under the doors of the rooms we've previously torched, slowly filling the hall with its thick black smoke. The blaze has also started in earnest in every part of the house. I can already feel the heat seeping from the rooms I've set aflame. You know, and realistically, I don't think I'd be able to set my house on fire, but... I don't believe burning the letter would do anything. In a matter of minutes, the flames will engulf the whole house. Fittingly, that is when she appears again before us, watching us from the top of the stairs while her world goes up in flames around her. However, what catches my eyes is that expression on her face. The vile smile I've already grown accustomed to, or the one where her eyes gleam with complete hatred. This one, forlorn, is the only word I can think of to describe it.
Please, help me, please.
Can the dead still feel? Can she hear us? Or is this merely another one of her tricks to trap us in this nightmare? Like this, however, she seems almost like the woman she used to be. I have to remind myself she's no longer Hannah. The woman I loved is gone, and who stands before me is nothing but a pale imitation of who she used to be. And I don't waste any time pondering over it. Not with the exit just a few steps away. The door's finally open, and through it I can glimpse the world outside. Safety. However, I do turn, if only to see the last of her. A farewell more than anything. For all her attempts to lure me, draw me in, her wishes to be with me, she does not stop me, and I finally run from this horrid place. Quietly, she disappears. Watching a multi-million-pound house burn before me, for some reason, nothing about this bothers me. Maybe it's the one less look on her face that has changed it. Maybe it's what I've seen and heard inside. It's only more calm stillness. The same hush that comes from a terrible storm swept the countryside, and with it the sight of the sun rising above the horizon. Ever so slowly, the sky begins to lighten before my eyes. Darkness gives way to the warm morning hues, soft rays spilling over the vast expanse of Luxmore's countryside. Nearby, the trees sway and rustle with the breeze, a passing draft that carries even into this room from the outside, cold enough to make me shiver. The remains of a storm that has passed. In the distance, I can hear the soft chirping of birds while the rest of the world stirs, wakes. Dawn at last. We are free. Despite initial protests, Luke agreed with Isabella Santos. He began dousing the place with alcohol and setting it on fire. Sure enough, as flames slowly engulfed the place, it returned to its original state, freeing them. Outside, at the first light of dawn, the mansion burned to the ground before their eyes. It's over. Epilogue. Everybody's single and alone. Like the flames that engulfed the mansion that night, whispers quickly spread across Luxborn City after the incident. Officers who investigated have simply deemed it an unfortunate accident, rejoicing in the deaths of innocent lives. Regardless of the truth, Luke Wright files criminal charges against Briar Realty Corporation after, for undisclosed reasons to the public, forcing the latter to declare bankruptcy. A move that has merely stoked the rumors further. But for those who still believe in the stories of the old and those who know the truth, it is but a testament to the curse and the secrets of the Ermengarde Mansion. The Ermengarde Mansion is hidden for centuries. There will come a time those will finally be revealed. Only the ashes of the now ruined mansion know. However, on nights when the wind howls and the thunder booms across the sky, some still claim hearing of voices where it once stood, of cries and wails that fill the nights and desperate calls for help from anyone who dares listen. As for those who once tread its halls... Although Luke Wright has won his legal battle with Briar Realty Corporation, another tech leak places him and Wright Enterprise under the spotlight months later. This time, however, when the Chief Inspector Harvey Lee's sudden absence, the businessman isn't able to escape close scrutiny. In the investigation headed by LPD's Detective Inspector Ashton Frey, all of Wright Enterprises' illegal business dealings within the past 10 years come to light. Although his involvement with other crimes is still being investigated, the disclosure has caused a huge outcry, especially from the city's business sector. Sued on multiple grounds, the company is ultimately forced to shut down. Meanwhile, to avoid public outrage, the once influent businessman immediately leaves the city. All of his bank accounts have been emptied, including his Luxbourne apartments, leaving not a single trace or clue where he might be hiding. The last anyone has seen of the man was on a flight bound for Ireland. To this day, no one has heard from him, even his people from the old Wright Enterprises, who have all been left to deal with the aftermath. Though, over the past few months, after the situation has calmed, some make claims of spotting him flitting in and out of the city, only to check on those he has left behind. Months after her recovery, Marianne McCullough heads back to her homeland, ready to close a chapter of a past she has left hanging for so long. There she visits Lorraine's grave, asking for forgiveness for the girl she once loved, something she has intentionally avoided for years. In spite of this, a different regret still clings to her, one that has been left by what she has witnessed inside the Ermengarde mansion. She never returns to Luxbourne after, leaving her interior design company in the hands of her secretary instead. But with her absence, the business eventually declines until they are forced to shut it. Unexpectedly, she returns to music years later, hoping it'll someday drown out the voices and the gruesome memories still lingering in her head. By some stroke of luck or an unfortunate circumstance of fate, Marianne encounters Luke Wright once again, almost a year after she returned home. She meets the man in the local marketplace, newly settled, fumbling, and confused. Although her opinion of him remains ambivalent at best, she reluctantly offers help, especially after seeing him stumble on his Gaelic more times than she deems acceptable, and it becomes a start. Not to a close friendship by any means, but perhaps something akin to it. And on better days, when vitriol and scathing words don't get in the way, there's only the pleasant companionship one offers to the other. Casual visits to the other's home, sharing a bottle of wine or two, and simply talking about anything under the sun. A comfort after their mutual loss. Something they both eventually learn to appreciate with time. With help from family and friends, Zachary Steele is soon able to open a photography studio of his own, something he has only dreamed of having as a child. Although he still hopes to get back into making indie films someday, client work and making small projects has kept him mostly busy. Hectic as it may be, he can only be glad for the amount of work pouring in. It has made moving on from the incident at the Ermengarde mansion easier, if not faster. But whilst there are still nightmares with support from his family and his doctor and his own drive, the dark images have finally turned into pleasant dreams. He's aware he won't ever truly forget, but he's no longer running away. At times, when he's not busy or after a hard day's work, he thinks there's another story for the big screen to be told in that. An idea he may soon turn into reality once his time affords it. In the months that follow, Rebecca Gales becomes a prominent researcher within Luxbourne's major academic circles, especially after writing that she has discovered about Anselm Village and the Ermengarde mansion. With the help from Professor Andrew Clark, she is soon able to secure funding to continue her research, presenting her findings yearly at local and international symposiums. Now at the tail end of her current study, she hopes to publish her first book, correcting all inaccuracies in the city's current history, a move supported by both colleagues, students, and friends alike. Though she knows she still has a long way to go before she can even begin to change people's minds about it, Professor Clark has warned her as much. She perseveres. Doing it not for herself, but for the sake of a history the future generation must never forget. No matter how disturbing her experience, what the curse may have been, she remains the worrywart she has always been. Even after what she has seen, she continues to fret over people she cares about, sometimes much to their frustration or embarrassment. But if there's one thing that has shifted, it's her relationship with the people in her little group, particularly with Zach Steele. In fact, on numerous occasions, she has been spotted dropping by his new studio, bringing the man food on days when he's swamped with work. They also seem to have grown more comfortable around each other than before. Maybe it's born out of their shared experience, or maybe the way they see each other has simply changed naturally due to the years they've known each other. Regardless of the whys, is a change the man welcomes and appreciates. In turn, he tries to return her kind gestures whenever he can. For all the horrors they've seen, who would have thought something good would come of it? Look at Rebecca glaring. Things have inevitably become strained between Ashton Frey and Rebecca Gales in the months following their confession, and with their lives getting busier, the two have eventually drifted apart. Although neither talks about it and the teacher still strives to forget an old love, it's clear in Rebecca that there are still feelings left she couldn't let go of. If anything, however, this has only made it obvious how much has changed between them, and how much she has clung to the idea of Ashton from their younger days, the one that may not have been there in the first place. Merely an idea for a starry-eyed young girl. But if there will be a time she will be able to accept this, to move on from the hurt and repair an old friendship that has fallen to ruin, only she knows. Amidst her struggles, Rebecca finds an unlucky companion in Luke Wright. Luke getting all the ladies. While he avoids the city like a plague nowadays after losing both his company and Hana, he manages to drop by from time to time. Mostly to check on his goddaughter, Kylie Suarez, though the man still won't admit it when asked. Rebecca still regards the man as insufferable. She doubts it'll ever change. But after all she has seen, much as she denies it, she now considers his presence the closest thing she has to comfort. A similar sentiment the former businessman seems to hold, even confiding in the woman of his problems, petty or otherwise. Their friendship may be awkward at best, but with the grim reality of death having once shadowed over the two of them, it's something they eventually grow fond of in time. With her newfound courage, Isabella Santos finally chooses to pursue what she really wants for herself. Having made enough to keep her family afloat for a few years, and with their blessing, she quits her job at Variety Realty Corporation and takes the scholarship offer from the local university. Though remarkably out of practice and unsure she'll be able to keep up by the time she returns to university, she finds her feet soon enough with the help from people close to her. And with her confidence and her skills growing, so do the number of people recognizing her and her work. It doesn't take long for several award-giving bodies to take notice of her. For all her accomplishments, however, she has never truly forgotten what happened at the Ermengarde mansion. The images still remain in her, and on particularly unpleasant nights, terrors continue to visit her dreams. She knows those will never disappear from her life, has become a part of her in the same way death has permanently taken from her. However, she's no longer afraid. With a brave face, she carries on, earnestly wishing that someday she'll be able to paint brighter, more vivid thoughts on her canvas, an honest portrayal of life and hope amidst the fear. Shortly after accepting the scholarship grant from Luxburn University, Isabella moves from Salem residences in favor of staying in a dorm closer to her campus. Although Rebecca Gale's quick to offer assistance for the move, she does admit she will be missing her neighbor of more than 5 years. When all is said and done, she has become fonder of the girl over the years, and with her shared experience over the curse, they have only grown closer. Isabella leaves with a promise to visit every once in a while, and even though she still jokingly complains about Rebecca's bossy attitude, she confesses that she also misses the woman's fussing. After all, in a place miles away from her real family, Rebecca is still the closest thing she has to a sister. More than a year later, once everything in their respective lives has finally settled, Zachary Steele and Isabel Santos hold their first exhibit together, a project that has been in the making for almost 2 years after the photographer casually brought it up to the other artist. While merely intended as a small event, it has been surprisingly attended by several members of Luxborn's upper class and art enthusiasts. Although only a few of the pieces have been meant for sale, the show has brought prominence to Zachary and Isabella's names in the city's art scene. It has since been followed by several other exhibits by the two, both in and out of the city. Currently, they are planning to hold their first show overseas, yet even with this unexpected overwhelming fame, friendship between the two has remained strong. Theirs, after all, is a bond that goes beyond being mere partners in a small project. He's her family as much as she is his. We secretly got married. Like, I'm just letting you know, this is my husband. Following success in bringing the Luxborn firm case to a close, Ashton Frey receives a recommendation for transfer to Luxborn's lead agency against organized crimes, an endorsement eagerly backed by the newly appointed successor to the late Chief Inspector Lee Abigail Harris. So is that the successor to the late Chief Inspector Lee Abigail Harris. We still haven't really met her. Also, did Chief die? Knowing he'll have more resources, leeway, and a bigger chance at ultimately bringing Luke Ray to justice, Ashton Frey accepts. He still warns the people close to him against Wright and his associates, but only a friendly reminder now more than anything. This is actually really messed up, because it's like, we have to bring that Luke Wright to justice. He's a wanted criminal, but like secretly Marianne and like Rebecca are both hanging out with him. Though he does worry, he believes they are wise enough to know what they are doing and trust their judgment. For now, he's decided to leave the evidence and the law to speak for itself, and take care of the man when the proper time comes. Nowadays, police work and operations keep him busy, sometimes taking him away from the city he grew up in for days on end. A rare thing for him to enjoy once upon a time, yet this time he never loses his drive. Simply growing more determined after having finally found a clear purpose close to the rush, and excitement he dreamed of as a child. Although Ashton still keeps mum about the specific details of his work, his experience with the curse has slowly taught him how to open up, especially to those he knows genuinely care for him. Still has a long way to go, he knows that, but for the sake of the people who are still with him, those who have chosen to stay, he hopes that there will come a day when he no longer has to hide behind his own lies, a day when he is no longer afraid of facing the truth in his own words. On his days off, Ashton is usually seen loitering around Zachary Steele's studio, either to help him out for one of his pet projects or exasperating the other man on purpose. Either or, it's mostly the latter. At certain times, he'll volunteer to model for one of Zach's projects, in spite of the photographer's reassurances that it's not needed. Regardless, Ashton insists, before complaining how meticulous the whole process is hours later, to Zach's utter amusement. Though sometimes they manage to get into small trivial arguments, things have stayed cordial between the two. If anything, the ordeal they've both gone through has merely strengthened a friendship the detective didn't expect to find in anyone. Between the lingering trauma and their measly attempts at normalcy, it takes a few months for the awkwardness to finally lift for both Ashton Frey and Isabella Santos. Of several weeks trying to find their voice and remember how to act around each other, despite enduring affections. But once the unease fades, there's only their usual banter and rapport to fall back on, the casual talk and the friendly jibes. And for the both of them, it's easy, like breathing, like coming home after a long journey, a comfort in spite of the things they have gone through. Their days may still be filled with petty arguments and light teasing, but in the aftermath, when all has been said and done, something constant has already been forged between them. Between them. A quiet, steadfast thing they can both hold on to as they both carry on. I feel like we kind of failed her. So, we've beaten the game. Look! Look! They have the same voice actor! I'm telling you, it's a conspiracy! This is the real mystery of the game. So, like, I think it was overall a pretty great game. We did not really learn anything about what was going on. And we lost Hana. I like the epilogue. It was not super crazy about the ending itself. It did kind of feel rushed at the end, and like we made basically no choices as Luke, which was a real disappointment. I wish we'd gotten to spend more time as him. I don't know how long this video is, but I do plan to reload and pick the other choice and see what that leads to. I don't think it's going to be the better choice. This Let's Play is not over. This is going to be 80 billion videos long. I do plan to get the other endings and figure out what's going on and whatnot. There'll probably be a lot of skipping, because if we keep rereading every single thing we eventually, that we already saw, we're going to be here forever. That would be terrible. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a pretty good game. I liked most of the characters. The biggest problem was obviously the text really needed to be proofread. Should have hired me. They needed help. Also, the fact that officially there was no way to have a romance between Zach and Rebecca. It's in my head though. So. I wonder how long this is. I'm sorry for skipping it, but I don't want to be copyright struck. That happened with Art of Murder, which when I uploaded that I got 20 billion copyright strikes. Dear you, if you're reading this, that means you finished playing the game in one way or another, and we thank you for the time you spent playing the letter. The game is our passion project more than anything, and we sincerely hope we delivered in bringing you a one-of-a-kind visual novel experience. The letter is the first of many visual novels coming from us. If you like what we did with this game and would like to support us, please take some time to click the button below to find out how. Thank you so much for everything. Let's talk soon. Let's check the time so we can see only 22 minutes in, so let's burn that letter. I'm getting tired of it, really. I simply have to act fast, think fast, and what else is the root cause of our problems but that letter? No need to make things more complicated. It started from there, why won't it end there? And if what Minna said is true, then that's all the more reason to destroy it. Put an end to this madness before anyone can think of passing it on to someone else. Where the situation can stretch on for far too long for my taste, I snatch the blasted package and throw away. For a second she appears offended until I take out Mum's lighter. The sight of it shuts them all up. But I have no need for their opinion. In the next moment, I'm already setting the letter on fire. It doesn't take too long for the thing to catch fire. It's old, for heaven's sake. But I make sure none of the ashes end up on anything flammable. It'll be an inferno inside this study with all books and documents stored here. Not that a big flame's anything to worry about in this case. In fact, in a matter of minutes, the damn thing has turned to ashes on the floor. Nothing left to burn through, the fire dies, fades into thin air and a whiff of smoke, leaving only the awful scent of burnt paper in the room. And as the paper turns into cinders. A sharp, agonized wail echoes from somewhere in the mansion before quickly dying out, taking with her the horror she has brought upon the mansion. Slowly before her eyes, the mansion changes again. Blood fading from the walls, ceilings, and the floor, returning the place to its old beauty. Gone is the darkness, quickly replaced by the artificial lights in the room. Even the smell of blood and gore has completely disappeared from the room. Perhaps the only thing undesirable left are the dumbfounded looks they're giving.
See? Wasn't that easy?
I don't know, I don't buy this.
For fuck's sake, you people need to get your heads checked. How did you all make it this far in life with that kind of thinking?
I don't believe it, but it would be funny if that was all it took and we just, we never did it.
Well, you can all thank me later for this. You may now show yourselves out of my property before I call the police on you simpletons.
Where's Hana? I walk out of the study without a single glance back at them, more than eager to finally get fresh air. They can find their way out of this place, I'm sure. I better not catch them again here, though, or I will not be happy. Wow, I kind of didn't think we'd end up outside. So, there's our diary. Knowing the letter was the source of this entire fiasco, Luke Wright agreed with Marianne McCullough and started burning the paper. Soon enough, the blasted thing turned to dust while the mansion returned to its usual state, freeing them. It's over. Inside there's only silence, deafening. Still, the same hush that comes after as a terrible storm has swept the countryside, and with it from the wide-open windows is the sight of the sun rising above the horizon. Ever so slowly the sky begins to lighten before my eyes. Darkness giving way to the warm morning hues, soft rays spilling over the vast expanse of Luxbourne's countryside. Nearby, the trees sway and rustle with a breeze, a passing draft that carries even into this room from the outside, cold enough to make me shiver. The remains of a storm that has passed. In the distance I can hear the soft chirping of birds while the rest of the world stirs, wakes. Dawn at last. We are free. Where's my wife? Oh, we got to keep my house. Well, for now. For undisclosed reasons to the public, the mansion is put back on the market months later, while Barati Real Corporation faces criminal charges fired by one Luke Wright. Okay. The stories. It will come a time when those will finally be revealed, only the hallowed halls of the mansion know. To this day, it stands silent. However, on nights when the wind howls and thunder booms across the sky, some still claim hearing of voices within. Cries and wails that fill the nights. Yeah, we got all that. So is this all the same? Yeah. So it seems mostly the same, except Luke got to keep his stuff. That's a little funny. Oh no, we're locked. Okay, we got out. So apparently the alternative ending is the same thing, but Luke doesn't have to lose all his property. Yeah, I don't know. That feels like a really underwhelming choice. Where are we at time-wise? At chapter 7 we got everything? How's that even possible? I guess it's just backgrounds. CGs are somewhat a lot, item sprites we're somewhat a lot of content. Romance endings. Individual bad? Is that the I mean, not so bad for Luke. The Luke Escape variant 2 and Marianne all alone. I mean, I don't know. I think they Luke variant 3, so Luke went from individual bad to individual good. And Rebecca, Isabel, yeah, we're all doing well. Friendship bad. Yeah, that's Luke and them. Friendship good. Marianne and Luke. Zachary and Rebecca. Luke and Rebecca. Zachary and Isabella. Rebecca and Isabella. Zachary and Ashton. Ashton and Isabella. So basically Rebecca's been totally kicked out. This is heartbreaking. True endings. None. Romance endings. None. So, my goal for the next time will be to go for as bad as possible. Because I've heard backstory of the ghost gets revealed when characters die. I think that's a really bad design choice, but I'm going to try my hardest to get these people killed. I have no idea what causes that, though, so... So, let's just start off on that a little bit. Let's do You're Not My Mom. She's mad. No friendships. Press my lips together and roll my eyes at her. I'm not entirely sure how I should feel whenever she goes on her mother hen mode. Oh, I should recap for people that don't remember. Isabella came here to bring Rebecca the medicine she forgot at home because Rebecca's sick. And she's all like, why are you not eating instant, why are you just eating instant noodles? You're gonna get sick. Not entirely sure how I feel whenever she goes on her mother hen mode. She means well. I'm glad someone's looking out for me, especially with my family living on the other side of the globe. Rebecca's bossy attitude can be such a pain sometimes. She's more overbearing than Mama, and that already says a lot.
You're not my mom.
I didn't say I am.
Nope, but you're acting like one. You don't need to boss me around all the time.
She gives me a completely unimpressed look. Immediately I brace myself for another round of reprimands from her.
I'm not bossing you around. I'm just telling you to at least mind what you're eating. Remember what happened last year? You ended up bedridden for 2 weeks after eating something bad. And I ended up having to listen to you cry about how those absences would take a huge chunk out of your paycheck. Do you want that to happen again?
No, Mom.
Only a loud, frustrated sigh comes from her while she pinches the bridge of her nose, likely to help ease a headache starting to form. I bite my lip to keep myself from laughing out loud at the image she makes, expecting her to say more. But when she looks up, she's simply carrying a resigned expression on her
I'm
face.
serious.
Not my mom, Rebecca.
Maria Isabella Grace.
I shut my mouth after that. That's not even my full name. Although I know she's not really angry, I don't want to push it. An angry Becca isn't someone I'd like to cross paths with in my lifetime. I've seen it happen and it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, I'll stop.
I grumble, but she doesn't seem to care much, only giving me a small, acknowledging
Good.
nod.
Look, if you need anything, tell me and I'll help in any way I can.
Birds.
You don't have to do this alone.
Thanks, Becca. I really appreciate it, but you don't need to keep babying me. You've been taking care of me since after I moved here.
Yeah, we're doing skipping. Ashton calls, we're going to the mansion. We get a call from our coworker telling us to come up to the attic, but it's all messed up. We find our letter. Oh no, we're gonna do the quick time event. Where's that tab button? So, let's just try closing our eyes and praying this time. Oh, let's look at our journal. Nothing new about that one. So we're gonna close our eyes and pray. I shut my eyes tight, muttering fervent prayers under my breath.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Prayers taught to me as a child by my mama and papa slip out endlessly through my teeth. Because God, oh God, if you have to listen to any of my prayers, please listen to this one. And if God doesn't listen, at least I won't see the thing that kills me. A cold comfort. I wait. And I wait some more. But when nothing happens, I dare to take a peek. Only if that goes the thing, whatever it is. Gone. Relief washes over me as I shakily get to my feet and back away towards the door. Wrenching it open, I slip up without a second thought and make a run for it, down the stairs and onto the hallway. I'm gonna keep reading next. I'm not giving the thing another chance to catch me off guard. Well, I guess it's all new. Whatever that is, every warning bell in my mind is telling me that I'm going to jump out at me at any moment and get me while I'm still in this place.
I freaking told them! Oh man, oh man, oh man!
Did we still get the letter? I think we still got the letter. Racing down the stairs, a breathy laugh escapes me and... my shoe slips and I find myself falling! Oh, okay, see the ghost. Then we should be getting woken up by Marianne and our co-worker, Rose Cooper. Skip all this. Got a real bump on the head, we got knocked unconscious, they're worried about us. Well, so Marianne thinks the place has already been sold to the Wrights, so we're gonna say, oh, we don't know this time.
We're sorry, ma'am. We don't really know what's going on here.
She doesn't like us. Nothing but hatred this time. Nobody likes anybody. Looking for a mysterious missing co-agent, Isabel Sands found a mysterious letter in the Ermengarde mansion's attic, driven by a fear by what she read inside. Thinking it's the place's curse at work, she hurried to leave the place, only to meet.
If it's okay, maybe we can...
Aren't you the ones in charge here? How can you not know what's going on here?
You see, Miss McCullough, right now, the house is...
Amazing how she can keep her voice level yet still convey utter displeasure with it. I've dealt with people acting the opposite before, and if I were to choose, it's much easier to handle clients who talk your ear off when angry. People like her are the hardest to read. Beside me, I shoot Rose a pleading look. She returns it with a glare before taking the reins from me in an attempt to soothe the situation out. There's a promise in it that we will be talking about this later. I am not looking forward to that at all. What can I do? She can deal with this better than me. Who knows what might come out of my mouth if I handle this on my own?
We're really sorry, ma'am. My partner's probably still a bit winded from her fall.
If she's unwell, then she shouldn't be working here right now.
She raises a hand to rub the side of her temple as if to stave off the beginnings of a headache.
Never mind that. I just want to know what's going on here. I thought my client already owns this house and my services are needed.
Again, saying completely different from what the thing says.
Perhaps there's been a confusion then. We haven't heard anything from our supervisors regarding a closed deal for this property yet. In fact, today's only the first day of our open house. If you wish, we can call them and confirm for you.
That wouldn't be necessary, but thank you for being direct with me, Miss Cooper. I already thought something was a little odd earlier.
If you'll excuse me, I need to talk to my secretary.
Another wrong line of dialogue. With a slight wave of her hand, she leaves us. It seems to be the end of it. Both Rose and I breathe a sigh of relief. Disaster averted. Still, I've already prepared myself to dial the number to our Luxborn office and check, even if she didn't ask for it. I'll be very frustrated if for some reason something has already been decided without my or Rose's knowledge. It's a whole new level of unfair. We've been working hard on this. Moments later, Miss McCullough returns, looking a little frustrated, but with an apology clear on her face. Yeah, it's all the stuff about the mansion, the clients not having sold it, we meet the rights.
Mom, you haven't finalized anything with an agent yet. I would really advise against making plans this early when...
Never mind that. It isn't going to be a problem. We've got a wonderful legal team to handle everything.
I don't actually know what triggers the deaths, by the way, so I'm just picking all the bad choices. That should kill people, right? Yeah. Open house, we meet Hannah and Luke.
Start taking notes, though. I think I've got a few things I want changed before we move in.
And more skipping, showing people around. I can't help but send an imploring look at Miss McCullough, who only looks away with a sigh.
Yeah, I can give you a fact sheet and a form to fill out.
They find the letter. They're all creeped out by it. The letter and those blood-soaked limbs in the attic. It's real.
The letter. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Careless, I've been so careless. How do I even tell them that without looking like I've gone mad? Show the letter to Rose! Marianne hates us so much. I blurted up before I could think twice about what I'm going to say.
Rose, we need to get out of here. This place is cursed.
Rose cast a nervous glance at the people in the room. Most are still engaged in a conversation with their peers, but those curious enough to turn their heads in our group's direction have been given her trade work saleswoman's smile. A tight expression is on her face when she pulls me aside.
Isabella, we've already had a conversation about this weeks ago. Those are just stories.
And I'm telling you that it's not. I saw something in there. It's not human at all. I thought it was just nothing, but isn't this letter proof enough?
She gently reaches out to pluck the paper off my hand. Without even taking a glance at it, she folds it back neatly.
Look, I'm really getting worried about you. I know you want to see this open house through, but your condition is more important. Give me a few minutes to wrap things up here, and I'll drive you to the nearest hospital.
No! You don't understand! There isn't a condition, Rose. No concussion at all. I'm fine. But this place isn't, and you're being stubborn about it.
Before Rose could open her mouth to retort, a hand lands on both our shoulders, pulling the two of us a distance closer.
Now, ladies, what seems to be the problem here?
Nothing, sir. I just had to clarify a few things with my colleague.
Well, it certainly seems intense. A smile fits the two of you better, in my opinion. Especially darling little Lily here.
He gives my shoulder a gentle squeeze with an inscrutable smile spreads across his face.
It's Isabella, sir.
Of course. But my point still stands. And with two beautiful ladies here, I'm sure.
And I'm sure little Lily here would certainly appreciate it if you remove your pretty hands from her, darling.
The pressure on my shoulder lifts as soon as those words leave his wife's lips, while the scowl on her face is like a splash of cold water on me. It is almost impossible to miss the displeased frown on Miss McCullough's face. The realization that we might lose this sale because of my outburst instantly dawns on me. Rose will be beyond pissed.
I think I need to step out for a while. I'll be back.
Bowing my head, I mutter a quick apology and gather myself to make a quick exit. Okay, we're skipping more. Should be running into Ashton, who's here. I think we're going to... yeah. Mom Hannah in particular didn't look too pleased with what I did with the letter. I owe Rose a big apology. I hope she likes
You don't seem too happy about it.
Yeah, we're gonna lie to Ash about what happened at the mansion. I turn my eyes back to the passing view outside. Yep. Just making everyone hate us. Maybe if I can remain quiet long enough, he'll get a hint.
Seriously, what happened?
You're already assuming something happened.
I'm not. It's what you said earlier, and that's why I'm asking. What did they do?
They didn't do anything, all right? It's nothing. Work's just been stressful. My boss has been in a bad mood lately over a lost sale. Preparing everything for the open house has been tiring. And then there's the tour. You've seen how big the place is.
I wish he'd just drop the subject and be done with it. It's not like he'd lose something if I tell him. Outside, the sun has already started its descent, casting a vibrant orange glow on the tall buildings. I wonder how long before we can reach the movie house. Zach's been pretty excited about this movie. I need to ruin that for him. But right now, I just want the day to be over.
Just so you know, people we interrogate often avoid our eyes when they're hiding something.
I'm not hiding anything!
I didn't say you were.
Then why are you still asking about it?
Your face is a lot more expressive than you think.
Can you please just drop it?
My voice comes out harsher than I've intended, and I immediately regret having taken that tone on him. As one would expect, Ash is taken aback but recovers quickly. An uncomfortable silence settles in the car while I find myself wishing I had snapped at him like that. Stupid, stupid, stupid Isabella. It's the first time in months you get to spend time with your friends and you're already messing things up.
Sorry. I didn't mean to yell.
He responds with nothing more than a nod and take that as his way of dropping the topic. For now, if the way his jaw tightens is a sign of what he still thinks about the matter, I just hope I can give him a proper answer next time. Time passes quickly between us in this manner, and before I know it, we're already at the movie house. Still got a bit more time. So we're at the movie house, and we're gonna drop the letter and end up with it arguing. I don't know where it's not skipping. So all our friends are meeting up. Zach, Bella, Ash, all meeting up. Becca knows about our fall. Oh, we dropped the letter. Ash opened it. It's all Ash's fault. How dare he do this? So we're gonna go home, because screw friendship. I know I'm being selfish, but if I stay, I'll only get in the way. Rebecca's happier. We'll save our friendship with Rebecca. I can't look Zach in the eyes when my excuses come tumbling out of my mouth.
I'm sorry. Today's not a good day for a movie night out. I think I'll pass. Enjoy, you guys.
Isabella, wait!
You're the one who plussed. We'd saying things. I leave without another word, one step after another, as fast as my own 2 feet can take me away from them. Becca calls after me again. Zach and Ash do too, but their voices become lost in the hustle and bustle of the afternoon crowd. It's strange to walk home like this, to bump shoulders with people you don't know. I felt the same way years ago, fresh off the boat in a foreign land with no one else to depend on. I won't deny that I was nervous. Now, well, it's not every day that you get into an argument with your friends. Not every day that they won't believe you, even if you're telling the truth. It feels like a betrayal of some sort. It leaves you hollow. And in this faceless city, it's impossible not to feel alone after. We get a new journal entry this time? Doesn't say anything new. Be nice if we got some new journal entries. Backlog. Sun is already set by the time I reach the comfort of my own room. On my phone there are 4 messages waiting to be read, 3 from Zach and a lone voicemail from Ash. Becca will probably drop by later to check on me to say the same things these messages likely contain, yet I can't bring myself to open or listen to any of them, much less look forward to anyone's visit. So without taking another glance at it, I slide my phone back to my bag and flop down on the bed, allowing the heavy feeling in my chest to finally lull me into an uneasy sleep. Perhaps tomorrow would be better. Nightmare. Waking up, Mama's calling, Papa's doing well, we're sending money to our sick dad back home. Got little siblings, at the office with Rose. Oh yeah, the Reds are here. Hannah's not happy to see me. Her lips are twisted in a frown, she doesn't seem particularly happy to see me, and I'm not surprised. Oh, anything new yet? There's the family. Who wouldn't be? I almost created a scene. Mr. Wright, however.
Why, if it isn't the little Lily? I trust you're feeling well now.
So he seems to like us more.
It's Isabella, sir. Not Lily. I appreciate your concern. I'm feeling better now.
I really don't understand why they can't get my name right. It's a fairly common name. It shouldn't be too hard to remember. Regardless, I hand in their copy of the agreement.
I believe I can take that. Thank you very much.
Wow, she's a whole different person just because of that one little difference. How elegantly she plucks the papers off my hands. It's easy to think that there isn't a trace of irritation with her. Now I want to get Rebecca with Luke. Or Isabella with Luke just to tick off Hannah. But it is there, radiating her stiff stance and the way she's standing at a fair distance from her husband. Now the two look to be ignoring each other. Seeing this scene, it soon becomes clear to me that I'm not the one who has put her in a bad mood. Did they fight? Most probably. I've seen it happen dozens of times with my previous clients. It's a shame, especially with our new mansion. I never did like it when my own mom and papa fight. So just by bringing up the letter, we have ruined their relationship. I hope they'll make up soon.
Love, servants or not, you're going to make people listen to your input nonetheless.
No more than a week, ma'am. Barring unexpected delay, of course. You can leave it to us.
Excellent. Well then, I'll leave you two to it. It's been a pleasure doing business with you.
One of you.
Oh, and before we forget...
She's greatly full. She's given us money.
What happened the day before was quite unfortunate. But you did get us what we wanted in the end. That, at the very least, is commendable.
But this is... Ma'am, I can't accept this.
Don't you worry, darling. It's a small thing coming from us. Consider this your bonus.
Okay, so they're leaving. We're here with Rose. We end up going to a cafe.
I thought for sure you were going to snub us for the better part of the week.
Yeah, this doesn't go well, I guess, because we ditched them.
You know, I can't stay angry at you guys. I was upset. I still am, but...
I'm gonna keep picking bad
Well,
choices.
something did happen this morning. Let's order food first, okay?
A waitress comes by to take our order. On a normal day, me and Becca will order a hearty serving of our special vegetarian stovies. Zach takes anything with a good helping of meat, sausages, and potatoes in it. But today's a good day. Great even. It's not wrong to indulge a little, right?
Today's special. For the three of us.
Even with the person jotting down our order looks surprised at today's meal choice. Writes it down nevertheless. This mostly goes the same. She's not here, so we should celebrate. I'll be surprised if this doesn't make Rebecca mad. Yeah, Ash sucks.
Okay, let me do that again.
Yeah, they're both mad.
We should celebrate because Ash Hole is totally missing out on my first treat ever.
I'm sure Ash has his reasons.
He hasn't even apologized for calling me a scaredy cat yesterday.
A half-hearted complaint without any meaning to it. Done more out of habit than with any real malice or hatred to it. After all the times he called me a scaredy cat, the wording itself has completely lost its meaning. Imagine that. There's disappointment, of course, in knowing he's off who knows where while we're having fun here. Sheesh, don't you just appear off the face of the planet without telling anyone?
You aren't really upset about that, are you?
No, not really. But it's his loss for missing this once-in-a-century event.
He did seem to be in a hurry when we parted last night after the movie. Said he got a big lead on his case.
We never had the chance to talk much yesterday, but you know how he is about his work. Everything except his unholy love for bad puns is a secret.
He never mentioned those to me.
I ain't surprised. He's more tight-lipped with this one. Something about it being bigger than what they usually let him handle.
Don't worry, Becca. I'll make him talk.
It's not necessary. He'll talk when he wants, and if what Zach says is true, it's better if we keep our noses out of this. His job isn't exactly a walk in the park. We'll only get in the way if we pester him about it.
Well, he better treat us to something other than ice cream once he solves that one. That's Scrooge.
But that's not really why you asked us out, right?
She gestures to her food with her hand as though it's something she's not willing to touch until I give her
I
answers.
promised I'd treat you to a free lunch at the mansion.
Still no new dialogue. Still no dialogue. That staring jaws on her face. The bewildered look she's been sporting changes to something close to
You
delight.
should have just told us. No need for all this fancy, secrety stuff.
It was supposed to be a surprise. I made a promise, didn't I?
I wasn't expecting you'd really do it.
Well, it's already here. If you don't want to eat it...
See, this is not new text. I begin to gather their plates to my side, the food and reach still untouched. A laugh almost escapes my mouth with the way Zach's expression quickly changes to disappointment. Becca's hand interrupts just as I'm about to pull her plate closer to me.
Please, leave it, ma'am. We're simply humbled by your utmost generosity, considering you're as much of a Scrooge as Ashton.
Don't compare me to him. He's the one who looks like he's about to have an episode whenever he has to spend more than £5.
I honestly wish there's a way for you to see the look on your face when you haggle. Reminded me to record it once. I think it's something like this.
She puffs her cheeks and furrows her eyebrows in an imitation of how I supposedly appear. I don't like that at all. Do I? She drops the act at the flat look I shoot her. Her laughter dies, but the playful gleam in her eyes remains.
This means you're gonna be okay now, yeah?
For a while. It just means we won't have to worry about paying for the treatment and the bills. But that's all that matters, right? I mean, we're not yet sure if the new medication will produce better results, but Mama and the doctor said Papa's responding well to the treatment. That's one reason to be hopeful, and with the money, I'm sure it's just a matter of time.
No, still no dialogue. But no matter what, I allow myself to smile genuine and uninhibited. It's strange to talk about this with other people, even those who have known you long enough. But today, things simply feel a lot lighter with them here. Lunch passes in an enjoyable fashion. Okay. Lunch. Rose is calling. Ghost in the shop window. We're freaking out. Our friends are worried. We run away. Go to her apartment. What happens here? Is our phone ringing? The abrupts. Oh, journal. Yeah, still no new dialogue. Frowning, I take a quick look at the clock on my bedside table. It's late. No one usually visits me around this hour except
Isabella? Are you in there?
Becca's coming to visit us. Her tone is tentative and unsure, testing whether I'll respond or not. Any other day, she'd just enter the room for one knock. Today I think she's trying to be considerate. She knows I'm in here, and she can easily go inside once I've given her a copy of my keys years ago. Purely on insistence, of course, when she saw the state of my room. I got time, so let's keep going. And her own words, like a hurricane, passed through the place. Ever since, she'll drop by from time to time, either to share what she dished up or to help me clean. She knocks again louder this time, albeit the kind with less urgency. I think that doesn't make you to answer the door.
Hey. Hey there. Mind if I come in?
She holds out a paper bag to me. From inside, a savory aroma wastes into the air, making my stomach rumble rather loudly. Becca shoots me a knowing smile before she walks into my apartment like she owns the place.
I knew you missed dinner. I picked this up on my way home. Thought you'd like one too. And why is it so dark in here? Were you sleeping when I knocked?
I moved to turn on the lights before she stretches her hand out for the switch.
Not really. I was just thinking.
About? Did you rearrange things again? Where are the plates?
This is the bedroom.
Stuff. The cupboard to your right, top shelf.
Only the clinking of silverware could be heard as a hush fills the room, a sound both familiar and awkward. I can easily answer her previous question to cover for the lack of talk, but from her hurried movements and hesitant tone, I know she'll bring it up sooner. The food is just a ruse to get me to open my mouth. I'm unsure if I should be happy or mad that I have someone like Becca who knows me so well. Minutes later, she's pushing a plate into my hands and settles on the sofa opposite my seat at the edge of the bed. She sticks fork in her own dish, yet does not go beyond shoving the meat and peas around on her plate. She would have scolded me by now if I did the same in front of her. Shrugging, I looked down at my own food
It's pork? Are you sure you want to eat this?
Don't look at me like I'm feeding you poisonous stuff.
I know, but pork? You hate pork.
I don't hate it. I just don't like eating it on a regular basis. I can always burn it off with a few hours of jogging. Why are you being picky about this? You're the one who doesn't even gain weight no matter how much or whatever you eat.
I was just asking. You threw a fit when I used pork in your stovies that one time.
It wasn't a good day to eat that. And what about you? You don't seem to be having a good day either. This afternoon?
She opens the subject with the same finesse a bulldozer has. I might have laughed if we were talking about something else. I'm almost impressed. She used to complain about my own tendency to do that. In the end, Becca simply gives up any pretense of eating and sets her own plate on the side table. She leans forward in her seat, clasping her hands together in her lap as her expression grows serious. It reminds me of that one time I got sent to the principal's office. I can neither recall when or why. The memory's vague now, considering the years since. But I remember squirming in my seat a lot, the agonizing weight and the intense desire to leave the room.
Isabella, what happened?
I spear a piece of meat and pop it into my mouth. It's good, but the taste doesn't really register. A shame. Becca, sharp as ever, is quick to pick up on this and pushes through with her questions, forgoing her place on the couch to sit beside me. I thought the concern is unwelcome, quite the opposite, actually. Set the expectation that we'll fall into the same cyclical argument as
About yesterday, during Zach's movie, things didn't end well, and I guess, no. Let me rephrase that. I just want to say I'm sorry. We're sorry. We were pretty harsh.
Although I'm still upset about Becca seems sincere in her apology. I'm gonna say, what's the point?
Don't bother.
Yeah, friendship lower.
Are you going to tell me about it?
Does it matter?
It does. I think so, yeah? How do you expect people to listen to you if you keep avoiding questions?
I wasn't. I'm not asking you to listen to me right now, am I?
Now you're just being a child.
I'm 26. You're the one who came here to bring me food I didn't ask for. You're not even eating it yourself. And it doesn't even taste that good. It's too spicy. I bet you don't even like it. And...
My heart's pounding hard against my ribs. My breathing has also grown erratic. The sheets of my bed ceases under my tight grip. I didn't mean to yell, especially at her. It just came out. Yet it feels oddly satisfying to do so. Becca's smiling knowingly at me when I look at her. Only then does it register what she's been trying to do.
Are you done?
You're an awful friend.
She laughs, softly yet unrestrained. It isn't mocking, but one that brings a sense of familiarity to it, and it does the job of lightening the
Feeling better?
Not entirely, but thanks. I'm being petty, aren't I?
We both are. Figures why we're friends, right? So, are you going to tell me about it?
What's the point?
Isabella, the point is...
Yesterday! I spoke about it yesterday, didn't I? But nobody believed me. I kept repeating and repeating and repeating myself, but none of you took my word for it.
Because none of it sounds realistic.
Their voices are all so loud. Wait. I was gonna look at gameplay and see if I could automatically skip QTEs, but there might be some new ones.
Yet you're here asking about it. What do you really want?
Because I need to know where you're coming from.
We fall silent, both of us coming to the same realization that we're going nowhere if we keep shouting at each other like this. With a sigh, Becca reaches for the letter on the table. She inspects it in the same manner one does with something fragile, holding it with all the care in the world. Her stare lingers on the message printed on it. Something pensive sets in her face as she reads the lines over and over again. I want to stop her, take the paper away from her hand and hide it. But it's too late now, isn't it? Yesterday and today's argument was my own doing. More than not being believed, I'm running away from the guilt. From the idea that I've put my own friends in danger. I'm afraid to do anything about it. I'm using my own anger to hide my own fears about myself. I'm a coward.
Tell me. Everything. Don't leave anything out, you hear me?
I hesitate. Becca's far from a person who will believe such things, yet...
You really want to hear it?
She nods. I tell her everything, from the moment I arrived at the mansion, my search for Rose, and what I saw. True to her words, she listens. Not in the same way a person hangs onto a storyteller's every word as if it's the only truth in the world, but in a manner a person who is simply offered to lend an ear to someone who needs it does. No personal opinions, no long arguments whether it's the truth or not, just her undivided attention. And it's pleasant to be heard,
Is it the same? This afternoon? I've never heard you scream like that.
She was there.
She? Who is she? I'm missing a lot of things here, Belle.
Her! The ghost! She's just there, standing, calling for me.
On the streets? I don't...
On the window! Becca, it's her face when she looks at me. It's here, stuck in my head. I can't shake it off. There are voices, shadows asking for help. I don't know how. I don't know what she wants from me. Lord, I don't even know how to help myself right now.
Just turning everyone's voices down. Except Luke's. My hands begin to shake. Balling them to fists, it's all I can do to keep them from moving. She may not be here. I may not be seeing her misshapen face smile at me, but the dread remains. I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be left alone with those haunting images again.
I'm sorry. I didn't know this has been bothering you like this.
Why are you apologizing?
Look at you. This isn't the Isabella I know. Any other day, you'd bounce back. You got what you wanted today. Your dad's gonna be okay. And yet here you are. Zach can tell. I'm sure Ash can as well. I'm probably the only one thinking of selfish reasons the day before.
Where exactly is this coming from, Becca?
I don't think she means to say that one out loud, judging by how quick her heart snaps up at my question.
Certain things. It's nothing. Don't get worked up about it.
She's jealous because Ash picked us up and took us home.
Anyhow, I should go. Try not to think about it, all right? You need your rest. I'll be next door if you need me.
My hands move automatically to grab the back of my shirt before she can take a single step away. I wonder what happens if we hook her and Ash up, but she doesn't have that talk with Luke, so she doesn't realize that she shouldn't be obsessive. Like, would they get a divorce? My hands move automatically to grab the back of her shirt before she can take a single step away. I have no idea what came over me. Her apartment's next door. I can easily bother her if I need something. She said so herself. However, my trembling hands refuse to budge. I don't want to be alone.
Do you want me to stay?
Can you? Just until I fall asleep?
What are you, 5?
Please. I really, really, absolutely don't want to be left alone right now. I tried to sleep earlier. Last night, too. I thought a shower would help today, but it's still in my head.
What am I going to do with you?
These both seem like happy options. I don't approve of these.
Thank you, Becca.
No.
You can bring your work here if you want.
No, no friendship.
You are such a big
They're both
baby.
pluses! Which one's the lower plus? Okay, let's look at our relationship. Right here. I'll just say
Thank you, Becca. You can bring your work here if you want.
I think this one's lower.
No thanks. My brain needs a break too. In any case, I won't be able to function properly here.
Gestures at my room, at the clutter specifically, like it has offended her. It probably did.
How can you work in this place?
Still not a different journal entry.
I just do! Hey, I don't say anything about your room.
That's because it's clean. Of course there's nothing else for you to comment on.
Hey, I clean too. Once a week. Or month.
We continue like this for the rest of the night, with mundane and nonsensical talk about anything our minds could think over food long left cold. To an outsider, it might sound uninteresting, boring even, but to us, it's good enough. I think this is a new journal entry. Concerned for her firm, Rebecca Gales visited Isabella's apartment. The two had a heart-to-heart talk as the latter recounted everything that had happened during the open house. At her request, Becca stayed the night to watch over her. Huh? Sleep comes easier tonight, and for the first time in a long time I dream. Of clear skies, of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets, and of small, cramped dwellings. To an outsider, the sight does not paint for... This is home. We've seen this before. Morning draws bright and clear the following day. Although the air still feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather, it's one of those rare weekends when I allow myself to sleep in for the sake of sleeping in. Clock is flashing 9 a.m. when I open my eyes. Becca's already gone, likely to the library. She has a habit of keeping herself busy on a weekend. She did leave a note on my fridge reminding me to eat, along with a plate of breakfast on the counter. Really. She gets angry when I call her mom, but then she goes ahead and does things like this. I flop back lazily in my bed. From my window I can hear the world beginning to stir. I should too. There's still papers to organize, documents to sign and hand over tomorrow. It's just staring at a gloomy white ceiling like this. Waking up alone, it'll be easy to fill with the irrational need to go back to sleep. But I've got calls to make, people to check on, and good news to deliver. Blindly, I fumbled my phone on the sites and dialed the number I've been itching to call since yesterday. It rings for a good while. I can already imagine Mama's startled face. She's probably cooking something for dinner right now. Knowing her, she'll turn off the stove first, like she'll always remind me, wash her hands and wipe them thoroughly in her apron before picking up the phone. Small striking habits I didn't know I'll miss until I stop seeing
Hello?
them.
Santos residence?
Mama, how are you?
The usual pleasantries, questions about how they're doing, how's life going back home, bits and pieces, although small, helps form a picture of things I've missed in my mind. Age's excited voice resounds on the other end, and I smile
What
to
about
myself.
you? Are you eating well?
You asked that a few days ago, but yeah.
Mom's all I need.
And, Mama, I've got something to tell you.
Oh no, you're not pregnant, are you?
What? No! Mama, stop making jokes like that.
This is a serious question, Grace. I've been looking at your face note. Who is this Ashton? Are you pregnant?
Oh my gosh.
Who? Ash? No, no, no! Oh, good heavens! It isn't like that! We aren't like that! No one's pregnant, Mama!
Not even Hana.
Well then stop stalling! You're making me nervous, Grace.
So very like Mama to jump to conclusions like that. And against my better judgment, I laugh. Light and surprisingly easier now that the heavy weight is lifted. Mama's clicking her tongue on the other end and impatient by the delay. I want to hug
Remember
her.
the house? We got a buyer yesterday. I'll be able to send a remittance soon.
Even with hundreds of miles separating us right now, the relief, her relief, is palpable. The tired lilt in her voice is still there, but it's fading. Perhaps not now, but maybe in the near future. When Papa's well and distance is not a
The
problem.
buyer gave us a bonus, too. I can send that early while we're waiting to finalize things, because that might take a few days. And then there's...
Grace, stop!
Yes, Mama?
It's okay. Keep it to yourself. You don't have to send everything.
Don't worry. I've got enough here. You taught me how to budget properly, didn't you?
Don't you want to buy something for yourself? Or for your friend? Rebecca, was it?
Rebecca will complain, Mama.
Then tell her it's from me. As thanks for taking care of my stubborn daughter.
I wonder if the mama kind of knew the husband wouldn't make it.
You both sound so alike. But I will. Thanks, Mama.
The call goes longer than usual, and when we hang up after goodbyes and I love yous have been said, the day appears brighter in my eyes. There are no half-truths and empty promises this time. Next date. Isabel Santos happily informed her family of a big remittance being sent after the Ermengarde Mansion's successful sale. Things were looking up for the Santos family. Light streams through my open windows, the world's fully awake, and the last vestiges of sleep have faded from my eyes. Maybe a walk is good. I need to visit the grocery, too. Now to think of it, wasn't there an art store that opened recently near the park? This is us meeting the cat.
I'm sorry. Did my cat hurt you? Oh, it's you.
She already hates
Nice
us.
to meet you again, Miss McCullough.
Were you harmed in any way? I'm sorry. Brew feels not...
We're gonna pick the same thing, talk about the cat, and make her hate us. Yeah, look how low our relationship is. Oh, Rose is dead. We just learned about that. This better be leading to a tragic ending. Yeah, met the cat. So it's go to home or go to work or stay home. Which is the worst choice? My hand automatically moves to press the delete button. Stay at home, we're shutting ourselves in. We're falling into despair. What's the use? I won't be able to work anyway. Not with this weighing on me. Not with the images flashing in my mind. Not with these voices calling for me. Over and over and over. I flop back down on my bed and discard the phone on the nest of pills beside me. None of my friends better visit me. TV's still running, I notice vaguely, having left open the night before, though I have no desire nor interest in it now. Do you hate it when you leave the TV open? Rose is dead and it's all my fault. Shoving a pillow over my head, I make an attempt to sleep again. Anything just so I won't feel this heavy feeling in my chest. Go away, Rebecca! I'm despairing. Cheerful voice with a tinge of hesitance greets me when I answer the sudden call.
Hey there! How are you feeling?
My coworker's dead.
Good morning, Becca.
I just want to check.
No.
I just want to check on you. I heard the news. How are you doing?
This ever question has opened a dam of emotions I've been keeping it down.
Becca. Rose, she...
I'm trying to cut off contact with my friends, but Rebecca won't leave me alone.
It's okay. I know. I'm sorry. I know how much she means to you.
No, I showed her a letter. She doesn't like me all that
No,
much
you
anymore.
don't understand! This is what I've been telling you guys!
What you've been telling... All right. Tell you what. Why don't we eat dinner together today? I I heard the diner near your office is serving your favorite today. My treat?
Decline her offer. No friendship.
No, I'm not at the office. Ugh. Never mind. We're not safe. Not anywhere.
What are you talking about? And don't shout. I was just inviting you to help take your mind off things.
The letter!
It's kind of nice that she's not down relationship us for just for turning her down.
This again? Ghosts aren't real, Isabella. They're just stories made up to scare children.
You'll learn.
You're always saying that, but look what happened to Rose. I know what I saw.
The police says it's a homicide case.
Ghost homicide.
Didn't you see what's in her room? That's not something another human being would do. Come on, Rebecca. You have to believe me this time.
Isabella, I know you're in shock, but you have to wait for the authorities' findings. You can't just make assumptions based on some stupid letter you picked up somewhere.
You're still not going to believe me. Even if someone else already died, no?
You know that's not what I'm trying to get at.
What if Zach comes next? Or Ashton? Or you? Did you see what she did to Rose? We're all completely powerless against her, and you still won't listen!
Isabella, enough already. Where are you anyway? At home? Of course you're at home. I'm coming over.
Forget it. The same. They're all the same no matter how much you warn them. I left the phone, slid out my grip, and turned my attention to the news. Never mind that Becca's still on the line. She's never gonna listen anyway. They never will. I'm all alone in this. At the end of the day, no matter how gloomy the headlines are, it's still
The
a better...
Lutzbomb Police Department continues its search for the following reported missing people.
Hold on a second. Missing? Aren't they? Still, I've got to check. Frantic, I open my laptop. A lot of tapping on my fingers against the keys filled the room for the rest of the day as I looked through everything. The background about the place, its history from the current owners, and the list of employees under BRC. I was fallen by the time I finished going through my copies of the documents in our database, and I'm right. Of course I am. BRC may have a lot of staff, they may have a lot of agents hired, but I remember those names anywhere. After all, they're also part of the crew that worked with us on preparing the mansion for the open house. I think we saw this before, maybe it's just because it's a different place. And the letters... Well, that can't be. I hope it's not what I'm
Rose
thinking.
is...
My train of thought gets cut off when arms envelop me from behind. This is an oddly wholesome picture. I couldn't help but laugh. When Becca says she's not going to do something, you can be sure she'll do
You
it.
didn't have to come over, you know. You have classes tomorrow, don't you?
Is it the ghost?
And I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to yell. I just didn't want what happened to Rose to happen to you, Zach and Ashton. I wouldn't forgive myself. I think I figured out something too. Listen, Rebecca, sorry. I need to answer that. I've skipped work today. Rose
It's gonna
is
be
gone.
Rebecca.
My boss is probably beyond furious. No doubt that's him calling.
Nah, it's Rebecca. She doesn't budge. She's still angry? Phone's still ringing in the background.
Rebecca? What's gotten into you?
That's the ghost. She looks really clean. Hey, we did it! Memory fragment. Oh, this is a pretty picture. You've unlocked a memory fragment. Hana. Oh. How do we view the memory fragment? Yeah. Isabel Santos holed herself in her apartment the whole day after the devastating news of her mentor's death. More disappearances were reported that morning, most of them faces she was familiar with. She ended up having an argument with Rebecca Gales and ultimately refused the latter's invitation for dinner. I'm gonna try and figure out how to view that fragment. I'm gonna pause for a second. So I'm back. I tried looking up the memory fragment stuff. It just kind of seems like it's just images with no actual story. I kind of thought it would be story. I don't know. But we'll keep going, I guess. Well, we're not gonna keep going now because I gotta end this part. This is over an hour and 8 minutes long. But thanks so much for watching. We're gonna continue on with this and try to get the worst ending possible. I'm really looking forward to see how everyone will react to what I assume is Isabella's death. But yeah, so leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the ending that we did get, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.